content creator Claudine Francois and the founder of In Good Clean Taste. I am dedicated to helping women entrepreneurs design a healthy lifestyle by incorporating healthy, delicious tools, tips, and resources that empower their inner and outer game. Every episode, my featured guest and I share our healthy, delicious lifestyle journey on my globally recognized show, Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. Hello. Oh my gosh. So excited for today's episode. Thank you so much for being here on Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine. We have an amazing guest today. She's a dear friend of mine and an absolute superstar. So her story is so inspirational. I cannot wait for you to hear it and her pearls of wisdom. Oh my goodness, so much goodness. And also, she has a very special gift for our community. So please stay on until the end so she can share that with us. Now, as always, if you are interested in learning more about me, my products, and my services, you can check those out at ingoodcleantaste.com. Now, today's show topic is how to create a delicious lifestyle with simple inner game tools with Allyson Chavez. Oh my gosh, I'm going to bring her up from the green room, but let me tell you a little bit about her first. So Allyson Chavez is a success coach for professional women and a renowned keynote speaker on balancing feminine and masculine energy, mindset, prosperity, and success strategies. She teaches that while challenge is a necessary part of your success journey, the struggle isn't. Ladies, we do not need to struggle, for real, okay? Her mission is to end the struggle and bring joy to the lives of millions of women around the globe. Amen, right? With an emphasis on the power of feminine energy, Allyson leads women out of burnout and frustration to a life of ease and flow. Does anyone else need more ease and flow in their life where they achieve their goals without hustle or grind, heal and enhance their relationships, and live healthy, wealthy, and fulfilled lives? Allyson's work, including her 5-step success model for God-centered women and her best-selling book, The Prosperity Approach, have been featured, y'all, on CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox, and countless television, newspaper, and magazine outlets. Woo! Oh my goodness. We are bringing her up from the green room. Hello, Allyson.
Claudine, I'm here. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yay! I am so excited to have you here. Oh my goodness. We have so many amazing things to talk about. I cannot wait. The community is going to absolutely they're going to have their socks. What is it? The socks not blown off. Their socks are going somewhere.
No pressure, Claudine. No pressure. Just knock your socks off, Allyson.
You got this. Oh my gosh. So we have so many things to talk about. I want to get right to it. And I would love to hear the thing that I ask my all guests. The first thing is, what does a healthy, delicious lifestyle mean to you?
These days it's all about staying present. It's being connected to the moment. It's living life in wonder and in awe and being a level 10 person no matter what is going on.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. That is such a great reminder that being present, for sure. And I think a lot of us may have figured that out over the last few years. We just need to really enjoy the moment a little bit more.
Yes.
Tell us more about what you mean by being a level 10 person. What is a level 10 person? What does a level 10 person look like, embody? What are they like?
Well, at a very foundational level, a level 10 person shows up no matter what is going on for like challenges and adversity in their life. They understand and actually believe that everything that is showing up is to help them move forward. That those challenges are not bigger than they are. So they're a level 10 person with a level 2 challenge, that it's here because they're ready for it. They can lean into it. And that ultimately that challenge or that adversity is divinely designed to increase their capacity to receive more joy. because
Mm.
I believe that's why we're here. We're here to learn how to embody joy, period, the end. And we can't experience higher levels of joy if we don't have deeper depths of the opposite of joy, because we're here to experience contrast and opposites as well. But so often we look at a challenge and we're like, that's so much bigger than I am. And that mountain is so huge. And how can I possibly climb it? And so we show up as a level 2 person with a level 10 challenge, and it overwhelms us, and it tends to bury us. And then we wallow in that for a long time, and it impedes our progress for a very long time. And when I realized several years ago that life happens for me, it doesn't happen to me, that was when I started learning how to be a level 10 person no matter what was going on.
Oh my gosh, that is such a zesty citrus moment. I love that. And I will say that that has probably been one of my biggest challenges, is realizing that the challenges set before me are designed for me, not to me, right? They're
Mhm.
happening for me, not to me. That is a really, I think for a lot of us, that's a hard lesson to learn. So once you get to that space, I can imagine that is a beautiful, I feel like I'm like a level 8 person. Maybe I'm a level 8.
Well, me
That's
too.
firing.
Me too. Me too. Like we never arrive here on this planet, but I'm like, okay, how would a level 10 person, what's the perspective that she would have with this? Because it doesn't mean that your heart doesn't break. It doesn't mean that you
Mm,
don't feel disappointment. It doesn't mean that you don't feel like you're knocked over for a minute, but you're not knocked over for a month and a half. You're knocked over for an afternoon. And then it's like,
right.
okay, I'm going to feel the feels and I'm going to process through this. And I'm going to navigate through this. Because if life happens for me, not to me, then there is something here that's here to help me. Everything happens for a reason, and that reason is to assist me. All right, so what do I want to learn? Because before this, I mean, honestly, Claudine, I lived like the most empowered victim you could ever picture. Like, I wore this cloak of confidence, but inside, I was just a sniveling, not enoughness mess. And I was always second guessing myself and like eating my feelings. And I'd have a love affair with peanut M&Ms and like, why isn't anything working? And then when people would betray me because they're like human, and betrayal takes all forms, disappointing me. Some of it was outright betrayal, stealing my money, stuff like that. But when I finally like
Mm.
thought to myself, oh, holy cow, like I created all of this drama in my life and I didn't mean to. I wonder if I can then create my way out of it. I think that was a hinge point for me. That was like this breaking open point where I could stop victimizing myself by my circumstances or by others and really, really empower myself. And it was so comforting to know that, okay, this isn't happening to me, this is happening for me. And before that, it was like, okay, what lesson am I going to learn? Because God's going to teach me a lesson, and it's always punitive, right? I got to teach you a lesson and I got to punish you. But instead, it was everything happens for a reason. And that reason is actually to assist me. And it was so
Mm.
liberating and so freeing, because then I could start looking for what I was supposed to learn that would bring me more joy, instead of like, okay, why is this happening? Oh, because you're stupid. All right. So then I'm going to look for all of the evidence that supports me being stupid. And by the way, there's plenty of evidence to support any perspective you have on life. And so I
True,
would find
true.
like, here's why I'm an idiot, and here's why I can't trust my judgment. And it was just that wasn't helping me. That wasn't helping me to grow. It wasn't helping me to make the difference and the impact that I'm here to make. And it certainly wasn't fun or joyful. But just
Yeah.
having that tiny little shift just broke me open and just opened up the whole world for me.
Oh, that is so good. I think we all want to learn how to make that shift. That's like definitely a like, woo, that's a healthy, delicious lifestyle moment for sure. And I think that segues beautifully into your first tip, which is falling back in love with life and being healthy in every area of your life can have a positive effect on your business, relationships, health, all of it. Tell us more. That is so juicy right there. Tell us more.
It's so true. And most people are like, all right, well, how do I do that? Because my life feels like not everybody's life is a dumpster fire. There's parts of our life that sometimes feel like a dumpster fire, but I don't think that we're all in this like coming apart moment in every area of our life. Sometimes we are, but not all the time. And so when people are like, all right, how do I fall back in love with my life when this is a real thing that I'm dealing with? One thing that helped me, so I know like the world is in like massive amounts of anxiety right now, massive amounts of stress and feeling powerless with the economy and with supply and demand and inflation and like all of these things that make us, that can really strip us of our power. But what I learned was just really, really foundational. All right, everything is working for me. Like everything is always working out for me. So if I'm going to fall back in love with my life, I have to take ownership of my life right now and not wait for life to change, because then I'm always at the mercy of whatever is going on outside of me, and my power is all in me. And so if everything is always working out for me, I got really simple and stupid about this, Claudine. I'm not even kidding, but I was running such
We
huge
like
programs.
simple.
Yeah, right. It's got to be
Simple
simple or
good.
else I won't do it
Yeah.
because then I forget.
True.
If there's 18 steps, I'm not doing it. It's like I get lost on step 2.5. So we got to make this super basic and silly, like really silly. And I think we sacrifice forward progress for sophistication. But if we'll just let it be really, really simple, we can move so fast. And that this desire we have to be so sophisticated and so like all together really hinders our progress. At least it did mine for a long time. And so I started thinking, all right, if everything is working for me, what's working for me right now? Right now in this moment. So right now, Claudine, my camera is working for me. So like, yes, everything is always working out for me. I have water literally at my fingertips, and it's clean and it's cold and it's delicious. And that's working for me. I'm in a temperature controlled room, so I feel comfortable. That's working for me. The chair has not fallen out beneath me. That's working for me. And it was really interesting because I did an experiment with it when I was just in this super downward spiral of like, life is a dumpster fire and it's never going to change. And I thought, okay, I gotta move this. I gotta move this because I'm certainly not going to feel better in these kinds of thoughts and this kind of emotion. And so I started looking around. All right, what's working for me? What's working for me? And I looked at the clock when I started, and then I looked at the clock when I started feeling better. And it took 2 minutes. It took 2 minutes. Now, I didn't suddenly have an influx of money. I didn't suddenly lose 45 pounds. I didn't suddenly have this, glorious marriage with my spouse. But I was settled and I was grounded and the anxiety was gone. And so I do that all the time, like Q-tips. Oh my gosh, I love Q-tips so much. That's working for me. Whenever I have an itch in my ear, cleaning out wax, like, oh, Q-tips. And my makeup, like, I love Q-tips. That's working for me. I'm telling you, simple and stupid and silly. And it's
Yes.
wonderful. I live in a desert, and so my lips are always chapped. So I always have chapstick either on my person or within like 12 inches from me. That's working for
Mhm.
me. And the more simple and foundational and silly that you can get, the easier it becomes to fall in love with your life, because now you're like, oh, actually, there's so much more working for me than against me. There's so there's so much. And and I think like the whole theme of our conversation is input determines output. And women, especially the women that I've worked with, like that are like you, that are like successful and powerful, and like we know the masculine, and we've got the doing nailed, and we got the being. The being is a little bit esoteric for us. We're like, give me the strategy for the being, all right? But as we just like as we let it be simple, and
Yes.
we just we fall in love with what's going on right now. That keeps us present in the moment with like, hey, I'm taken care of. All of my
Mm.
needs are taken care of right now in this moment. And the more you lean into that, the easier it becomes to see that the universe conspires to help you. The easier it is to see that there is divine design to every part of your life, and you are literally mathematically supported every microsecond of your life. That's the in the fabric of how this universe has been designed. And then you stop stressing so much about the bill that's due next Thursday, or about, the cookie that you ate yesterday, or, you stop trying to eat your emotions or shove your emotions, and you start really being present, and you start like life starts becoming magical to you. And the only thing that has changed is you. But that's the only thing that must change. Because once you
Mhm.
do, life has to. It has to. It's law. It's universal law. It has to, because your circumstances always reflect your inner beliefs and your programs and your thoughts and your emotions, always.
Oh my gosh, you just dropped so many nuggets. And I just want to point everyone to your book because that is a little trickle of the amazingness that Allyson has in this book. Okay, so that any of that resonated with you at all. And I will say one of the reasons you're really good for me as a friend is because you remind me to get out of my masculine, right? And so for
Mhm,
people who don't know what that means, masculine's like the do, get it done, like check it off the list. And I was
mhm.
in corporate for 25 years. That is all it is. Corporate is one big masculine parade.
Yep.
And getting into, I love what you say about recognizing what's going well for you. Because a lot of people, when you say, oh, you need to practice your gratitude, they're like, I roll. And that's essentially what you're doing. You're like, I have a lotion here that just makes me smile. Like it smells like citrus. I love it. It is not a big deal, but I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put on my little lotion. It's gonna make me happy. Or I'm gonna light a little candle today because it's like, if it's a chilly day and you just want to get cozy, having those
Mhm.
little things, you're right. It raises your vibration. I'm going to get a little woo woo here. It raises your vibration, but as somebody who's a very logical linear thinker, I have learned that raising my vibration is super important for me to be showing up as my best self.
Mhm.
And this really comes into this next tip that you said. It was so, so good. So, so good. You said, this is our delicious lifestyle tip, putting down the beat up stick of self blame and taking radical ownership of every aspect of your life will free you to create the life you desire on your own terms. Whew, wow. Like, wow. Tell us more about this. How does this help you up level, taking this beat up stick of self blame away? And you've talked about some of the ownership, right? You've talked about setting yourself in the right state of mind.
Mhm.
Tell me more. I love it.
Well, let me give you a little bit of a backstory. So I built my company from nothing to multiple six figures in 2 years. So we went from non-existent to about 20 to $30,000 a month within a relatively short amount of time of 2 years. And I'd never had that kind of money in my experience before. And contrary to what I thought that the money would make me feel more secure, it actually made me more insecure because now I was really afraid to lose it. Yeah, because I didn't
Mm.
understand the energetics and the spirituality of money at that point. And so I was running these programs of anxiety that I was like, oh my gosh, I've just created this lifestyle for my family and now they expect it. And what if I lose it? So I was awake at 2 o'clock every morning with my guts twisted in anxiety. And so I went into pressure, which is 100% masculine. So I started working my business harder and just doing more. And my business began to fall. So the faster, like that's so I started to work harder. So the harder I worked, the faster that thing fell. And long story short, we were in a financial free fall for about 2.5 years. I was throwing mud against the wall, hoping some of it would stick. I was doing the Hail Mary pass all the time. I was in the action. I was doing everything that my coaches were telling me to do. I was in so much masculine and so much fear that we would end in a bankruptcy, that's exactly where we ended, was in a chapter 13 bankruptcy. And when the dust settled, I did have this moment of lucidity when I finally stopped with the "you're the world's biggest loser. Look at how much you've hurt your family. You drove off this financial cliff just like you were afraid you were going to do." Like those were the thoughts that were driving me all the time. And in that moment of lucidity, when I stopped blaming myself and I stopped victimizing myself and realized, oh, holy cow, I created this and I didn't mean to. I bet I can create my way out of it. That's when you free yourself up to create the life you want. And I think many women take responsibility and self-blame and they think it's the same thing, and it's not. Self-blame is just we victimize ourselves and we just beat ourselves up with that not enough stick or that beat up stick. But that responsibility, that radical ownership is, wow, look at how powerful of a creator I am. I created exactly what I didn't want. So now, if I have a little bit more intention behind it, I'm a little bit more deliberate and a little bit more disciplined with my thoughts. I bet I can create the opposite of it. Because
Mhm.
even though a lot of people think that vibration is woo, it's not. It's based in quantum physics. Albert Einstein said everything is energy and that's all there is to it. Match your frequency with the reality you desire and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics.
Yes. Oh my gosh, so good. And I had listened to one of your podcast episodes. So for those of you who don't know, Allyson has a podcast called The Prosperity Approach as well. Golden. Go check it out on wherever you get your podcast. Because there was one in which she talked about the vibration of or the energy that you get from the people you surround yourself with, right?
Mhm,
And I think a
mhm.
lot of us have experienced this, right? If you're surrounded by people who are just Debbie Downers and bringing you down, and you have a really negative energy around you, you're not going to be a super happy go-getter person, right? Unless you have an amazing wall that you can put around yourself, right? Um, but for most of us, we thrive on the energy that is around us. And the episode that you talked about was so, so good because it was surround yourself with people who not only mirror the energy you want, but can even like bring you up a little bit, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna be a tiny bit controversial right now, but I had a mentor who just said, "Don't be the tallest midget in the room." So so you wanna my love and respect for all short people out there. I'm only 5'2" myself. Anyway, I love that saying because so often we are, especially when we're really into personal development, when we're wanting to change our lives through healthy eating, like with what you teach. Most people around us don't support us in that. They're like, "Oh, you're getting too thin. You better have a cookie. Oh, I'm really worried about you." Like I got that from my family, like, "You're getting too thin." I'm like, "Actually, not according to like my doctor and not according to like
Mhm.
medical journals and things. I'm actually really good where I'm at. I could actually go lower if I wanted." But
Yeah.
people get like nervous when you're changing, because it triggers insecurity in them. And so it's important to be around people that have the same high vibe as you and an even higher vibe, where people challenge your dreams because you think your dreams are so huge and impossible. And they're like, "Are you kidding me? I did that last September." Where it's like your huge, impossible dreams, like somebody just wipes their nose in them, right? Because their dreams are so much bigger and they're so inspiring to you. And
Yeah.
so like and it's actually critical that you do this because energy is contagious. And
Mhm.
negative energy has taken a lot of subtle forms to it. So we know when people are just outright complaining and they're being victims and all of that, but there's this subtle negativity of lack and scarcity, and it's other people's fault and we can't ever get ahead, and my job doesn't bring in enough for us to fit your dreams, and I guess I better go get another job. Like it's that subtle negativity that just like wraps its cord around our legs and then just yanks it out from under us, that we've just got to be really, really conscious of, because positive energy is more powerful than negative energy, but negative energy is more prevalent than positive energy. It's why it's so easy to spiral down, and you can spiral down
Mhm.
a whole lot faster than you can spiral up, which just leads to like my whole point of inputs determine outputs. So be really vigilant about what your output is with your food, with the entertainment that you're ingesting, the conversations that you're having with others, and like we can change our friends, we can't change our family quite as easily. And I'm not here to like advocate divorce because your husband's a Debbie Downer or a Dennis Downer. But
Yeah.
you do get to have boundaries. And it's really important that you have those boundaries, whether they understand it or not. And you can just have a really simple conversation like, "Hun, I can't talk about how we can't afford that anymore because I'm learning more about money and I'm learning about how contagious energy is. And when I jump into that fear with you that we can't afford things, it just feels so defeating to me. And then I know I'm not happy to be around." And so if you feel like you need to do that, that's totally fine. But I can't be that person you have that conversation with anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to distract you so much. I'm going to be like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah," and it's going to be really silly. Or I'm going to just kiss you and tell you how much I love you. And then or I'll change the subject, or I'll walk away. Not because it's you're a bad person, or like I'm not because it's your problem, but because I can't go there. I can't go there anymore. And I want to be the wife and the partner that's inspiring, and that we're creating this wonderful life for us no matter what. And I just can't go there anymore. So you don't make them wrong for going there, but you just tell them really clearly you're not going there anymore. And then you hold those boundaries.
You know what's so great about that? So in my Radiant Woman program, I have a whole section on building new habits. And that's essentially what we're talking about. It doesn't, and it could be any habits. It could be health related habits. It could be mindset related habits. It can be whatever it needs to be. But one of the key things about creating new habits is exactly what we're talking about, surrounding yourself by people who are going to reinforce those good habits.
Mhm.
Just like, let's say you're trying to quit smoking. You're not going to hang out with a bunch of smokers. That's not going to help you, right?
No,
Hanging
no,
out
it's
with people who are
impossible.
going to affirm your new lifestyle choices or your new mindset choices or whatever it is. That's exactly. And one thing I want to talk about, because I know you were so good about this, so good about this, is setting up your day for success is key. Make that morning practice a priority. And the reason I want to talk about it, because tell me if this is still the case, but the last time we talked about this, you were setting aside an hour for yourself in the morning. Is that still true? Do you still do that?
Oh, it's like 2 or 3 hours
Oh
at this point.
my God. You have an amazing morning practice. No wonder you're so high vibe.
And that's just it. And we were actually talking before we recorded, and so many people are like, okay, I got to do this and this and this and this in my morning practice, and I'm going to check, 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 check. And it actually is depleting to them because they're in so much masculine energy, and it's just checking the box. But the reason why I can do 3 hours, like I was up just after 4 this morning because I was in my office by 7, and I am not going to do my morning practice because it influences every part of my day. Every part of my day. But it's not just to check the box. It's not just, okay, I read something that inspired me. All right, check. Okay, now I'm going to listen to a meditation for 10 minutes. Is it over yet? All right, check. Okay, now I'm going to move my body. All right, check. Like, because it just, we are in so much do and so much action that one more thing just knocks us over most of the time. So if you make a tiny little tweak and it's the intention behind it, how do you want to feel? That's what my morning practice is all about. What do I want to connect to today? Do I want to connect to expansion? Do I want to connect to peace? Do I want to connect to prosperity? Do I want to connect to beauty? I love connecting to flow. Like that's my favorite thing to connect to, especially when I have a really, really full day ahead of me. I want to be able to flow from one call to the next and one project to the next. And so like that's the whole purpose behind reading something that raises my vibration. For me, it's scripture. It can anything that feeds my soul. Meditation. Do you know there is only one purpose to meditation, and it's to put you into the mode of receiving. That's it. And that's 100% feminine. That's feminine. You have to start your day in feminine. You have to start your day in feminine because feminine is the vision. Feminine is the essence. Feminine is the energy. It's the being. And when you let the feminine and the vision lead of how you want to experience the day, then the execution of that day becomes so much easier because especially as women, we are naturally wired for the being rather than the doing. So if we'll connect with that being energy, then we're actually energized enough for all of the doing that's required throughout the day. So when you understand the whole reason behind the morning practice, it's not just a priority, it is an absolute non-negotiable because of the vibration it puts you in, which is the people that it connects you with, the ideas that you now are open to receive. And now life gets to happen not to you, not for you, but through you.
And you don't crave the drama that sometimes we create for ourselves, right? You
Right.
just crave openness, you crave connection. And I will
Mhm.
say for anyone who's going like, I don't have 2 or 3 hours in the morning, I will say I had to find my own way, right? Allyson and I were talking about this earlier. I was doing exactly what she said. I was checking things off the box where my coaches were like, do this, do this, do this. I'm like, okay, I did it, but it didn't make a difference. I had to find it my own way. So everyone needs to find what works for you, finding some way to connect, some way to be grateful or notice the things that are working for you. Right? Finding
Yes.
what works for you. I mean, I am not an early riser. I'm certainly not a like, oh, let's get up and do stuff. I need to ease into my day. So I start with a visualization that I can do while I'm laying down. Okay. The cat comes in, I'm petting the cat and I'm doing my visualization. All right. Okay. Oh my gosh, Allyson.
Okay,
We
I have to
need
say I have
to,
to say one more thing though, because somebody needs this. I didn't
yes.
start at an hour a day. I started at 15 minutes because that's all I could do. And I wasn't an early morning riser either. And so I would tell myself, we're just going to do this for 15 minutes, 3 minutes for each thing. And then if you're tired and you want to go back to bed, then you can go back to bed. And there were many days where I did it for 15 minutes and went back to bed. So stay on the step you're on, start where you're at, not where you want to be. And let that be okay. I love that you said that. Like yours looks different from mine because that's what serves you and mine serves me. And we're all different. And so it's okay. It's okay. But the whole point is, what are you wanting to connect to? And if it takes you 3 minutes to connect to it, then boom, you're done. I just like to savor it and stretch it and simmer in it. Yeah.
I love it. Okay. So this last tip we have is eating foods that nourish you rather than deplete you can have an outsized impact on your outlook and performance. And the reason I picked this quote is because you had a post recently that talked about how having foods that deplete you not only impacts, of course, we know impacts your body, right? You're tired, you're sluggish, your brain doesn't work as well. But you talked about how it affects your intuition. And I just got chills saying that. But that was like genius. That was like light bulb moment. Not having foods that are going to support my body, that are going to deplete my body, that affects how I show up in my business.
Yes, literally. It literally has a physical effect about how you show up to your business, because intuition is a mental faculty that responds to vibration. And so if we are like shoving our bodies full of low vibrating food, and our body has to put so much energy into digesting it, and we feel burpy and we feel just, I mean, it's called junk food for a reason. You know we're eating it. And it's not to say that I never eat junk food, but nutrition is directly connected to intuition. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, Claudine, like there's this part of me that does not really love eating healthy. Like if I could make chocolate chip cookies and brownie sundaes have the same vibration as chicken and broccoli, then I would, but it
Girl, I'm
doesn't.
sending you my brownie recipe. And my chocolate chip cookies.
So like that, you know, that hedonistic part of me just really wants to just eat crap all day long and then open myself up to intuition and inspiration. But that is not how it works. That is not how the universe is set up. But I really, really want a finely honed intuition. And the price for that is high nutrition. And the thing that is so beautiful about high nutrition is that as you like, you got to discipline yourself at first until it becomes second nature. But then you start realizing like, oh man, not only can I eat more of this food because it's not so packed with fat and calories and carbs that don't serve me, it actually gives me more energy. It actually makes me feel better. I'm not constipated anymore. I'm not having indigestion or heartburn. So I'm physically feeling better, which means then I can turn my attention to things that actually really, really light me up. And that opens you up for inspiration. And so the price is so completely like imbalanced for the payoff, because the payoff is so huge that then the healthy eating just becomes who you are. You're a healthy eater. You're a healthy person. You identify that way. And every once in a while, you'll have the fatty treats and you'll enjoy it, and you won't overeat. And if you do, then you get back on track and you forgive yourself easily, because you see like the huge payoff that comes when you're open to receiving and your body is in a place where it can actually support you in the inspiration you're receiving to move forward and create what you want to create in your business, in your relationships, in your health, in your level of spirituality, like all of it.
Yes, so good. And I just want to tack on one thing that you said. And you said once in a while, it's okay to do things. One thing I learned, or that I'm teaching in my Radiant Woman program, is that if you do something once, it's fine. It's just like, okay, you get back on the wagon, like you said. If you do something twice, that starts to become a new habit. Right. So for anyone who would like, I have a free guide on the hidden truth about weight loss. You can get some tips there as well. But Allyson, tell us more about how they can connect with you, where they can find you, and tell them about the special gift that you are offering.
Thank you. This has been so much fun. So Claudine, like really, it's such an honor to be here on this podcast with you. So thank you so much for all the good that you're doing in the world. And it's so much fun for me to be here and to contribute in this way. And I hope that I have contributed in a positive way to at least one person out there. I do have my own podcast. It's called The Prosperity Approach. You can find it on YouTube or any of your favorite podcast platforms. If you want to get to know me a little bit better and my theory, and because I don't believe in just teaching theory of prosperity, like I want to know what that looks like in my life and how to actually live in prosperity before the money shows up, and then while the money's here as well, and prosperity in all areas of our life. So you can catch my podcast there. And I also have a prosperity guide that I would love to gift your audience. It's 52 different activities and techniques and things that I did to help raise my vibration, to let go of overwhelm and stress and lack and scarcity, and really like get out of that struggle and live life on my terms and fall in love with my life again. And you can get that at prosperityapproach.com/52 ways. And these are all tried and true. I did it to get me out of lack and scarcity. So I know if it works for me, it'll work for anybody, because there's nothing special about me. I'm as special as everybody else is. And so if it works for me, it'll work for you too.
Which is to say, very special indeed. And you have honed this area that so many of us need. So I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to drop you in the green room. Go grab a mocktail. I'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, y'all. Wasn't that amazing? What a powerhouse. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be sure to put all the links in the show notes. And I want to ask you, how are you going to create a healthy, delicious lifestyle for yourself today? Until then, join me for another episode of Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine next Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and have a healthy, delicious lifestyle. Thank you for joining me today. You can learn more about me, my products, and services at ingoodcleantaste.com. Be sure to join me for another episode every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific or 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on my globally recognized show, Healthy, Delicious Lifestyle with Claudine.